I believe the deficit figure will be between $100 and $200 billion. I guess we're at the point where you say 160 billion, 200 billion. What does it matter? It is massive. But last December, in the mid-year economic statement, Josh Frydenberg outlined a $5 billion surplus for 2019-20 and $6 billion for 2020-21. If you can believe that, 6 months ago, pre-pandemic. Tomorrow we find out what the deficit was after the pandemic. Again, I'm tipping won't be as high as the 200 billion that's been speculated in the newspapers. Certainly be higher than 100 billion, the biggest we've seen post-war. Meanwhile, in light of this Victorian shutdown and the issues there are questions about the wisdom of the way the JobKeeper 2 program was structured and announced yesterday. With the first JobKeeper package, you had to demonstrate a 30% decline in turnover in just 1 month as a business to qualify for the payment over 6 months. This time you have to show that decline in turnover for the June quarter already gone and the September quarter to qualify after September. 6 months instead of 1. So you can see why the first stimulus package of this is $70 billion and the second package $16 billion in comparison. Here's Josh Frydenberg explaining this change yesterday.
To be eligible for the initial phase of JobKeeper, businesses had to see a reduction in turnover of 30 or 50%, depending on their size, and charities a 15% reduction. These tests remain the same, but they will be reapplied at the end of September and again at the start of January. Employers will need to demonstrate that they've met the relevant decline in turnover in both the June and September quarters to be eligible for the JobKeeper payment in the December quarter, and employers will need to demonstrate that they have met the relevant decline in each of the previous 3 quarters, ending on the 31st of December 2020 to remain eligible for the payment in the March quarter 2021.
Picture yourself as a Victorian business that had, say, a 20% decline in turnover last quarter, but because of the shutdowns, a 90% decline this quarter. You wouldn't qualify. Here's a very willing exchange the Treasurer had with the Victorian broadcaster Neil Mitchell this morning on why there is not more help for Victoria in this package.
Victorian businesses will find themselves obviously better placed to benefit from those programs because of the lockdown that we find ourselves in. But in terms of the steady transition in the payments, let's not forget that the flat $1,500 payment will continue to the end of September, and between the end of September and the end of December, it will gradually come down to a $1,200 top payment and a $750 lower payment.
That's part of my point. I mean, Victoria, unlike the rest of the country, is going to have more people needing it, but they're going to get less, aren't they?
Well, at the end of the day, we can't sustain indefinitely.
Can't you look after Victoria a bit more, though?
But we have, Neil, as you know. It's just one element of a comprehensive suite of measures.
There's no economic assistance other than what the rest of the country's got. Other than what the rest of the country, there's no special deal for Victoria, is there?
Well, the point of these programs and the way that they're structured, they will be of particular benefit to Victoria.
Now, the Treasurer and the government argue that because the program is done on turnover, Victorian businesses will end up benefiting more, but it has to be over 2 quarters. That's the thing, only one is shut down. They say they took the Victorian shutdown into account when designing this package, but I think there are certainly questions as to how much it changed after that shutdown. Frydenberg also confirming in that 3AW interview that he agreed with former Treasurer Peter Costello's assessment that the debt that we're accruing here would end up being paid by our kids and grandkids.
Is Peter Costello right? Will our kids and grandkids have to pay for this?
Absolutely.
That's frightening.
So tomorrow will be like a MyEFO, a mid-year economic forecast with Frydenberg and Finance Minister Matthias Cormann to appear in the morning, not the PM. So it's like we're doing the budget process in reverse, Kieran, a financial statement mid-year and a budget at the end of the year in October.